One of the main cast members of the TV show Shark Tank is the multimillionaire investor and entrepreneur Kevin OLeary. He's referred to as Mr. Wonderful, a playful pun to his bluntness, and is well known for his no-nonsense style. One of the things he's most blunt about? Money. In particular, he prefers to make sure that he invests his money in a way that practically assures him of receiving profit. If you're curious about his investment strategy, then stick around till the end of this video. Hey, welcome to Stock Market Mate. In today's video, we'll talk about Kevin OLeary and why he loves dividend stocks. Before we get into it, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to help us beat the YouTube algorithm. If you're done with that, then let's get right into it. We believe there's one word you should always associate with Kevin OLeary: dividends. In addition to us, OLeary adores dividends. Along with his well-known appearance on Shark Tank, he also manages ETFs under the aptly named OShares label. But why does he love dividends? Actually, we think it's better to hear about it from Kevin himself.
My mother used to take a third of her paycheck and put it into large cap dividend paying stocks and corporate credit. Back in the early 60s, it was amazing. If dividend paying stocks and corporate credits over 50 years, you can't find an index that beats that. And so when I started to do some research, I found out one interesting fact that changed my investment philosophy forever. Over the last 40 years, 71% of the market's returns came from dividends, not capital appreciation. So rule one for me is I'll never own a stock that doesn't pay a dividend, ever. There's no cushion of yield. What's the value of a stock that never returns capital to its shareholders for some foresight that maybe the company will return capital one day? And I think of when you learn as an investor over multiple decades is the only thing that matters is free cash flow. That's it. There is no other reason to own a stock. You focus on a company's ability to generate incremental cash flow, because just owning a dividend paying stock is not good enough, because let's say we find a stock today that's paying a 3% dividend yield, and tomorrow, because its forecast for sales get cut in half, the stock drops by 50%. Now it's yielding 6%. I don't want to own that stock either. Every year we test to make sure that the company is viable in its ability to generate cash. This is extremely conservative investing. This is for the long haul. These tools are not for, as you're suggesting, for spicy, the hot stock du jour. I've done that. I've been there. Let the young legs do that. I have zero interest in that. I don't care what the hot new stock is. So I'm really boring, and I like it that way. We're talking about real money here, the stuff that you need to preserve. When I think about my family trust, I can't afford to mess around with that. In my world, you never touch your principal. I view my portfolio and my trusts and my positions as a chicken on a spit dripping cash. Everything has to generate yield, whether it's a fixed income position or an equity. It has to. The only reason it can be in my world is it's generating capital back to me. So I'm always looking for a company that can help me with my problem of generating more yield. I can't even imagine buying a stock that doesn't pay a dividend. Why would you do that? What would be the reason you would do that? A stock that doesn't pay a dividend is a speculation. It's not an investment. You look at companies that don't pay distributions, don't return capital, how risky they are. Take a GoPro, for example. I'm not just picking one company. I'm just giving you a good example of a company that basically has lost 70% of its value, never returned a dime to shareholders. Or how about a company that's been around much longer, Yahoo? It's just a rotating door where management extracts capital, never returns any to shareholders. And I look at that and say to myself, why don't I just avoid that altogether? I know that 71% of the time all the returns come from dividends. Why should I own a stock that doesn't pay a dividend? And I never will. You remember back in the late 90s, I'll use one example, Toys.com. I was an investor in Toys.com. I went to zero, never made any money. And I grew a little 4-inch Charlie Munger on my shoulder when that happened. And he appears, you can't see him, but he's on my shoulder every time I'm getting pitched. If it has no cash flow, just say no. And I have listened to my little Charlie ever since the late 90s, and I've been right 100% of the time.
Here is a rundown of Kevin's main points. When choosing an investment, cash flow is taken into consideration. This makes sense because the only practical way to repay the capital to shareholders is through cash flow. According to Warren Buffett, a stock is just a small part of a business. Therefore, the same restrictions that apply when purchasing a stock also apply if you were to own the entire company. You must earn a profit and receive a return on your investment. You won't be able to profit from owning a company if you can't produce good cash flow. As Kevin says, this is just speculation. Ultimately, if your business has no path to generating cash flow, then it has no value to long-term shareholders. OLeary has always looked for investments that can generate profits while posing fewer risks than the general market. He may have been tempted by the glamorous worlds of hedge funds and private equity with his riches, but he has primarily stuck with dividend-paying stocks, which is what led to his most recent venture, the OShares family of ETFs, which only invests in dividend payers. Well, that's about everything. Hopefully this guide, along with Kevin OLeary's philosophy, will help you in your journey toward investing in 2022. If you found this video helpful, kindly click the like and subscribe button. Also, you might want to leave a comment below. We love hearing from you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to want to watch one of these two videos right here. Enjoy!